New Faces of 88. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Marty Kane.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the last in the present series of New Faces 88 before our grand final next Saturday, which is coming to you live from this, the stage of the Birmingham Hippodrome. So, just 6 more acts to see before our final, ladies and gentlemen. And they're all out there waiting to entertain you and hoping to make it. Of course, our panel have already made it, especially our first panellist, a self-made woman. Unfortunately, the plan's upside down, which is why she talks like she does sometimes. Ladies and gentlemen, Nina Mishkov. Welcome, Nina. You look stunning, actually. You look very well.
I'm actually testing a new slimming aid. I mean, for all my life I've dieted, but I think I've finally found the answer. It costs no money at all, but it does the trick for me. All you have to do when you're about to eat something you really shouldn't, something really calorific, you just conjure up an image of kissing Derek Jameson. Puts you off anything.
Nina Mishkov, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Next to Nina, the ever-lovable Chris Tarrant. Welcome, Chris. What are you doing at the moment?
I'm still ducking and diving and avoiding work like the plague. I get up 5 o'clock every morning, do a breakfast show in London, 95.8 FM, 1548 AM. You're jamming on the one. Good morning. I do that. I don't think it's
You're very well, too. Yeah.
And then I sort of wander around the rest of the day doing bits of telly and...
Well, welcome to our bit of telly.
Things.
Chris Tarrant, ladies and gentlemen. On the other side of Nina, a man of great taste, wisdom and judgment, because he was on the panel when I won New Faces. It's Mickey Most. Welcome back to a job you trained for, Mickey. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Can you remember, what, it was 14 years ago, can you remember what you said?
I remember that you were one of the special people on the programme because you won not only that programme, but you went on to win the All Winners programme. And if I remember correctly, I think you got maximum marks. I think you got 100 out of 100. And that can't be bad, can it?
Carry on,
you went wrong.
Well, thank you, Mickey Most, for giving me a chance.
Well, it's nice
anyway.
to see you again, anyway.
No, thank you. Nice to be back. Mickey Most. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Now, last week, the winner in the theatre was Stephen Lee Garden, but who did you, the people at home, vote for? Was it Gary Moore with Bedrock? Donna Lewis? Perfect Match? Bernadine Gorgon? Lucy Parham? You agreed with our theatre audience. You voted for Stephen Lee Gordon. So see you on the final next Saturday. Now, we start this evening's show with a group who've earned a tremendous reputation in the Northeast where they're from. They write, they sing, they play. In fact, the song that they're opening the show with this evening, they wrote specially for it. Please, will you welcome Centrefold.
Telling me, the one who's
Centrefold there with Breakout. Well, will they break into the big time after tonight? Let's see what our panel has to say. Chris?
Yeah, very good, very tight, very together. I don't know. It's very hard for bands on shows like this. They come on, they do 3 minutes. Now, if they do a composition of their own, nobody knows quite the song, and then they don't sort of relate to it, so they're not sure. They've sort of been and gone before you really know they were here. If they do an established artist song, then inevitably everybody compares them and says, oh, it's not as good as the original by George Benson or, you know, Def Leppard or whoever. It's one of those things that with the right song and the right arrangement and so on, if they got a record deal within a couple of weeks, they could become big stars, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will stamp an image on them very quickly. Thank you, Chris Tarrant. Nina?
I find myself agreeing with the oldest teenager in the world. I found that they had certain qualities, but there was nothing very subtle about it. It was very loud, and it was quite together. But that's about all you could say, and I think the image is totally wrong. It's a question of keeping up with what's current, and they are just dated. And I think the girl has a problem in that she's perhaps, I could be wrong, she's modelling herself on Bonnie Tyler. She doesn't have the same rough voice, but I mean the looks. I mean, you know, you don't really. I don't think you really want to model yourself on someone who's slightly overweight and has a big hooter and split ends. I don't think that's anything to aim for.
What did you think of the song?
I thought the song was all right. I can't remember it, and I couldn't. It sounds awful to say I couldn't hear a single word, but I really couldn't. I mean, I've always hated people who say I couldn't hear a word. I couldn't. So I don't know what it was about.
Okay, thank you, Nina. Mickey?
Well, there's a lot in what both of the panelists have said. You know, they're right in a lot of the things they say, but I think the constructive way of looking at this is there's a band that writes their own songs, and that's a great plus. Plus, they've got a lot of energy. You know, a haircut, it's one trip to a barber, isn't it? But I think they need a lot of work on them, but I think the songwriting is where they need work. I like the chord changes in the song, and I think there's something there. There's a lot of energy there, and they're young enough, and I think, you know, a record company grabs hold of them, the right material, they can have a hit like everybody else.
And there speaks a man who knows. Thank you. Well, comedy next, and it's provided by a Yorkshireman, a likeable Yorkshireman. He's been professional for 13 years, and before that he worked in textiles, so I suppose he should be able to spin a good yarn. Anyway, see what you think to Al Conway.
Wanna go? Oh, well, so far so good. Thanks for that thunder sound of applause. I'll just wait till it dies down. That's Madison. We're from Yorkshire. Are you from Yorkshire in? A trick question. Be a long way home, innit? Little place called Huddersfield. It's where the M62's cobbled. With a little village called Outlane. It's only a small place, Outlane. It's twinned with a cemetery in Poland. I woke up this morning, there's a man banging on my door. So what do you want, pal? He's dying from Everest. That's what, the mountain? He said, double glazing. I said, He said, no, you've got it. We fitted it 2 years ago. You haven't paid a penny for it yet. I said, well, I know you told me to pay for itself in 6 months' time. Oh. Thank you very much. Just pick the ones you like, it's okay. We live in a little house, it's a semi-condemned. I got home today, the wife forgot her teeth in. I thought, hello, an argument. We argue about sex and money. I'm sure she's charging me too much. She's into bondage, the wife. She came with a clothesline. She tied me to the bed, hands and feet tight. I said, aye, okay. Tear all my clothes off. I said, aye, okay. Now she can do anything you want. So I just shaved and nipped off down the butt for half an hour. The wife's very good in the kitchen. Like, she's got a black belt in cookery. She can kill a man with one chop. I like that one myself, I must admit. Two men talking in prison. One said, how long are you doing? He said, 25 years. Assault and battered about you. He said, 3 days for murder. So how come I get 25 years for assault and you only get 3 days for murder? He said, you're hanging me on Friday. Well, I like it. It's my act, okay. Do the mind reading now. Make your mind a complete blank. That were quick. Give me a number when I snap my fingers between 1 and 10. I won't look. Louder? 7. Correct. Oh, yes, it was. This one's the Irish rope trick. Any Irish people in? From Yorkshire? Irish skydiver dies when his snorkel and flippers fail to open. Now one for this side. Baby boy born with moustache, mother tittled to death. Did this last night to a live audience. And a brand new number 1, it started with a cis Quasimodo. Right then. I'll have to go now, I've got a paper round, look. This is the big finish. Good at an angle, boys and girls. Get a piece of paper, look, something like that. Thank you for listening. God bless. Good night.
Come on, Diane. Back in Hollywood, you could have it all. A real penthouse suite in a real skyscraper with a real pool.
Let's have a coffee and discuss it, shall we?
Well, you know, I'm used to real coffee.
Oh, I think we can manage that.
Nescafe's special blend and roast really does have a richer, smoother taste.
Now, that's what I call a real cup of coffee.
Had a feeling you might.
Nescafe, coffee at its best.
It's new. Tea size, game size, lunchbox size, card size, TV size, milk size, and purse size. It's Mars 8-pack snack size.
Funny dream last night. I dreamt we didn't have a dishwasher. What a nightmare.
How's it going?
All done.
Your journal's on the table.
Thanks, love.
Your usual seat. Have a good flight.
Thank you.
Oh, it's perfect. Just like the photo in the homemaker.
I must be going. Bye, darling.
My journal, I think.
The new Sinclair Plus 3 with built-in disc drive, £199. Sinclair Plus 2, £139. Both with free joystick and 6 free games.
If your windscreen's in need of a fix, in the city or out in the sticks, we'll be here to fix it. Call 0800 363
Thank you, and welcome back to New Faces 88, where just before the break, we were laughing with Yorkshire comic Al Conway, and he said, well, will it be a snip for the big time for Al? Let's see what our panel thinks. I think it's Nina, yes.
A snip. As far as I'm concerned, it's almost wrist-slitting time if he hadn't actually died a death on that stage, as far as I was concerned. I can't actually believe we've sat and watched it. There's somebody who's worked 13 years finally to appear on television and to come on and tell jokes we've all heard before, and boring, sexist jokes that have no place in today's television or in today's humour. I think he's nuts. He gets one chance and he blows it like that. It's appalling. I mean...
Yeah, don't beat around the bush, though, Nina. Did you like him or not? Yeah, come on, Nina.
I'm sorry. There's no point in trying to soften it. I thought he was absolutely awful and I loathed him.
So...
Yeah, well, I think that's...
So... Mickey, what did you think to Al?
Well, this is serious insulting. I'm not ready for this. In actual fact, what Nina says about the material is right, in my opinion. The material was very poor, but I thought the delivery was very good. See, everybody has to find an audience, and this audience liked him. And that really is that's what matters. He obviously could spend a lot of time on material. He has to find new material. Maybe he hasn't the energy for it. Maybe this is the type of audience he likes. They liked it, and he's found a market. And maybe this is the market that he wants to play to. That maybe doesn't want to get any bigger than that.
Point taken. Thank you, Mickey. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to agree with Nina on anything, actually, but I very seldom do. I mean, I do think, actually, the guy had quite a rough night. The audience were not very much in his pocket at all. I think in some ways, for a show like this, you've got to come out and attack. It's got to be a sort of comedy or a bit more quirky, a bit more original, a bit more individual. He's a very laid-back kind of guy. Certainly telling, and I do agree with Nina there, a lot of very old stuff. There was nothing particularly... You know, there was nothing instantly memorable. And also, I think he came out, I think he was quite nervous and the audience didn't go with him from the beginning. I think he did find it quite a struggle. And I do think in some ways, I mean, the guy has worked professionally for 13 years. Presumably he will continue to work quite successfully in the sort of clubs and so on that he works in. But I do think in some ways, I mean, if this is his big television chance, he didn't really do the best that he could have done.
Well, did you like him or not? Did you like Al? Next, a young woman from Belfast. She's a songwriter, ladies and gentlemen. That, coupled with a sweet voice and sensitive interpretation, has already led to the successful release of 2 of her own albums. Tonight, with her own song, Long Before, will you welcome Jane Cassidy? Jane Cassidy with Long Before, but will it be long before she breaks into the big time? Let's see what our panel has to say. Mickey?
Well, Jane has picked a very tough road, unfortunately. It's a very, very difficult one for a girl who writes songs and solo artist and sings and plays piano, because there's nowhere actually to go when you think about it. And there are so many good ones around the world who are, in my words, struggling, because they're not fashionable. And the song itself was not that memorable. It was pleasant. Her voice was pleasant, but when she got to the bridge, it was a little high for her, and she was struggling there. But I keep thinking to myself, what do you do with an artist like this? And that is the problem. You know, I go on and try, hope something breaks for you, but it's very, very difficult road. I would know what to do with it. That's my answer, really. But good luck, anyway.
Okay, thank you, Mickey Most. Chris?
I can't get over how nice Mickey Most is this time round, 10 years later. He used to sit there with Tony out, slagging everybody off. But I must admit, I mean, she doesn't sort of loom at the screen at you. It's very pleasant, very nice song. I think I do agree with Mickey, actually. It's a very hard role there. I really don't know. I would be surprised if on the strength of that song, she really had a terrific success on the strength of that, certainly. I mean, just it was very pleasant, but nothing outstanding, you know.
Thank you, Chris. Nina, what do you think?
Well, almost the worst thing you can do to someone is to damn them with faint praise, which is what these two have done and I'm about to do. Because there's nothing offensive about her. She's talented. I mean, she can write songs, she can play the piano, she can sing, she's quite pleasant looking, but it's not enough. There is no charisma there. The song is neither brilliant enough that you think somebody must record this song, nor is the voice memorable enough that you think, my God, give this girl a recording contract. Nor, as Chris said, nor does her face jump out of the screen. You think, oh, what a heart-stopping face. So it's just not there. I'm sorry, but it's not.
Okay, well, she's managed very well so far. I'm sure, you know, your comments, I'm sure, wise as they are, won't disturb her too much. Anyway, thank you, panel. These next two lads used to do their own separate comedy thing at one time, and then they met, decided there and then that they'd like to work together, and they have worked, because the writing is well-produced, it's polished, it's slick. Will you please welcome Clegg and Christie?
Leave it. It's a proper jig, this.
I know her.
Yeah, leave that. It's a proper jig. I love the suit, by the way.
Do you like it?
Love it.
Great.
Fantastic. Well, made to measure, was it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Who for?
Yeah,
no, I'm smashing that. He's honestly lovely. I'll tell you what, if we can be, tonight, here, half as funny as your suit, we've cracked it.
It was quite good. Yourself?
Steve, my boy, he does impressions. I can see they're impressed. Listen, you know the old standard, everyday, run-of-the-mill impressions that we have all seen? He does them as well.
Thanks, Dave.
Go on, do a couple. They won't mind.
Ladies and gentlemen.
He loves double acts.
Thanks, Dave.
Who's your favourite double act, Steve?
Dave, my favourite double act are the Daniels boys. Okay.
Daniels boys. Wait, who are the Daniels boys?
The Daniels boys, these two.
Hello, I'm Martin Daniels. Welcome to Lingo. 43 in my pocket, not on the board. 65, not on the board. It is the best game show.
Hello, young man. Excuse me, I must protest. Because you may know this, or you may not, but I've got the best quiz programme. Indeed, I have, kind sir. See, yes, Paul.
Dave, I'm doing the impressions, you're doing the jokes.
I know that, Rodney, you plonker.
Dave, I'm doing the impressions, you're doing the gags. Go on.
I'll do the gags.
Do one.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My wife said I want to sleep on the other side of the bed, so I stuffed her under the mattress.
No. You can't do wife gags, can you? Not these days.
Sorry, I'll tell you what, clever clogs. You do the gags.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, this fella was run over by a train.
What was he, chuffed to bits, was he?
It's not, no, it's not that one.
It is.
It's not that one.
It is.
This fella was run over by a train, phoned his wife and said, it's critical.
Critical? I'd have been livid with me. Livid. Steve, sorry, mate.
Let me
do the impressions.
Ladies and
He
gentlemen.
does millions.
First time
of
ever.
impressions. Millions.
Live, even on television. The most impressions ever done in 30 seconds. Starting from now. Which is absolutely extraordinary, because I'm just hearing it actually gives him slightly less than half a minute. Murray. Yes, and there he goes now, the champion, Nigel Mansell, in the works Ferrari, as they stay. Oi.
What? Sorry, mate, I was listening. Honestly, I was... Is that it, then? What? Impressions in 30
Yes, but I'm not
seconds.
starting.
Find that hard to
Yes,
beat,
but I'm
won't
not...
they?
I'm not
They will
starting.
find that first one you did was spot on, though, Robin
Yeah,
Day.
but I'm
Brilliant. Best Robin, honestly, mate.
No, just the David Coleman to start off with.
Dave, even better. It's called extraordinary because the news is Birmingham is still in the Midlands. Which is called extraordinary. Emlyn, what happened next?
Oh, I know it. Come on, team, I know it. Number 7, please, David, I know
Dave.
it.
What?
Just ask me one question. What are you doing with a sporting life?
Well, I've just
You've had a bet, haven't you?
I've had a 50p.
Oh, brilliant. We're doing the live TV show and
great.
he's had a bet. Tell me something. Is it on the radio?
Yes, it's on the radio.
Stay there. Don't move. Tune in. Hi there, and this is the kid on the Network Chart Show. Tune on movers and tune on climbers. Over to you, Flo. And greetings, pop pickers, and don't forget Saturday, and not off. Peter, yes, I think what's indeed. We once get an entry, and the starters orders. Yes. Other way. And it's Ryman Reason, closely followed by West Tip, and altitude adjuster making ground on the far side. It's over to you, Michael O'Hare.
Yes, sir, so there we go, they're on the inside, there's a right and a horse along the outside, now it's somewhere else. As they race into the straight now, they've 3.5 furlongs to go. That's about 400 yards, I think, as they race into the straight now. They're on the outside now.
Do you want to do the impressions?
That was a bit hard, wasn't it, Steve? I think I'll take up origami instead, mate. Just blow the impression. Sorry.
You want to do the impressions, don't you?
He's
edge of the doing.
This boy.
Edge of the doing.
Exuberant, isn't he?
I'll tell you what, Dave. If you want to do the impressions that bad, we'll do one together. We will do the biggest star Central TV have got.
Nina, I can't do women.
No, not this. The biggest male star.
Oh, I know the one.
All right.
Smashing.
Super.
Great.
Welcome to Bullseye.
Game about darts.
General knowledge.
Now, you've had 5 darts.
You've scored 4.
You've got 1 dart left.
You need 97.
You can do it. Off you go.
You go, maybe.
Lovely. Smashing.
Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, lovely, what will he do? How will he gamble? Will he gamble, eh? Now, the money he's won in the quiz, that's safe. The money he's won for charity, that's safe. Jockey Wilson threw his teeth at the board, smashing, lovely, super. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just heard he's not going to gamble. Lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at what he would have won tonight's star prize. Lovely. Hold it, Steve. Steve. That's it, mate. Time's up. Mate. Time is up. They loved it. They loved you. But I don't care. I don't care about them. Time is up. Who was that, by the way?
Barry Manilow. I shall say good night.
Good night.
Clegg and Christie there, ladies and gentlemen. Clegg and Christie with some well-known voices. Well, let's see what our well-known voice on the panel has to say. Chris.
Yeah, I like them. I just find impressions of Jim Bowen always very, very funny. That's good. They work very hard. The audience seemed a bit quiet. I don't know, the audience weren't really with them. I think the guys were a bit nervous. Sometimes there was a sort of hesitancy between the pair of them. The timing between the two wasn't as quick as possibly it can be on a good night. But I thought they were good fun.
Thank you very much, Chris. Nina.
I'm thought they were very funny. I like the... Although, you know, when you see a double act coming out, I mean, I know they're supposed to be very different, like Little and Large, but when these two came out, they looked so different. They're such different types that I fear that they wouldn't sort of gel, and that was my one problem with them. And I think also their timing was a bit off. They were trying perhaps a bit hard. But the younger bloke had a very cheeky face. I liked him. I liked him.
Thank you very much, Nina. Mickey.
Well, I think they have great, great promise. Something very special went on here for me tonight, anyway, because I've never seen two people work so well together, although they weren't as good as they could be. But I watched them tonight, and I thought to myself, they had a very special thing going, very unique. They had great face. Both of them had great faces. They complemented each other. And I think if a television company worked with them 3 or 4 years, they'll build through, you know, through the rough patches, and they have small programs, they build to bigger programs. You have to find tomorrow's stars, and maybe we found some tonight. I actually like them.
Thank you very much, sir. Remember that. You know, it's been said throughout the series that 5 minutes isn't really long enough for some acts to display the various talents. Well, it's never been truer than of our next act, ladies and gentlemen, because she's a zany lady, a very pretty woman, and she's more than just a singer, more than a comedian, more than a character actress. She's Isabelle Duncan.
I got married in the spring. To prove it, here's my wedding ring. I always think of my blushing groom whenever I see the pansies bloom. Oh, no! Oh, it cannot be. Queer things are happening to me. A boy's supposed to be a boy. A groom should bring his bride some joy. I told him about the birds and bees, but he still wears those pink chemise. Oh, no! Oh, it cannot be. Queer things are happening to me. His hair is curly as can be. He uses curlers just like me. When I find lipstick on his tie, he says there's no other woman, so it must be a guy. Oh, no! Oh, it cannot be. Oh, God. Queer things are happening to me. He's never been to gay Harry, but he's as gay as he can be. His friends are sweet, they're the queerest band. They're turning my home into a fairyland. Oh, no! Oh, it cannot be. Queer things are happening to me. One night we went to a masquerade, and I dressed up like a parlor maid. Everyone knew it was me right away, but no one knew he was the queen of the May. Oh, no! Woodman, spare that tree. Queer things are happening to me. Oh! Whenever we go out to dine, I feed him pheasant and apricot wine. But he says, no, what can I do? He doesn't want to try anything that's new. Oh, no! Oh, it cannot be. I'm not joining in. Queer things are happening to me. When I was walking down the aisle, his friends all stood around and smiled. I found out why. It hurt my pride. I knew he liked the best man better than the bride. Oh, no! Oh, it cannot be. Queer things are happening to me. Oh. We have decided it cannot be. I'm not for him and he's not for me. He can do what he wants, I'll do what I can. But the both of us, I've got to get a man.
counterpart of Krona margarine was first put on test in East Denmark, shops hundreds of miles away got requests for it. Supermarkets smuggled it round the country until the only place you couldn't buy it was the test area. Today's Krona has a little less fat and outsells every brand of English butter. Krona tastes so good you won't believe it.
I made the break. If it ain't chocolate break, then you ain't made that break, so make the break.
When it's time again to think of something new that's interesting, fun and news, it's just tune and lean on pork for a whole new angle on a midday snack that sets you up but doesn't set you back. Then lean on pork. British pork has what it takes. It's lean and tasty, for goodness sake. So give them a meal they appreciate. Lean on pork, lean on British pork.
Wolfie said, "May I come in?" Poor Grandmama was terrified. "He's going to eat me up," she cried. She was absolutely right. But you must understand that Piggy did eat Farmer Bland. He ate him up from head to toe, chewing the pieces nice and slow, so vile as Crocky walked the crocodile. On Saturdays, he likes to crunch 6 juicy children. That's all for now. It's time for bed. Lie down and sleepyhead.
This week, Roald Dahl's charming children's stories, free with the Mail on Sunday and You magazine.
Sweet dreams.
You'd never catch me up in one of those things.
Thank you and welcome back to New Faces 88, where just before the break we were being entertained by a zany lady, Isabel Duncan. It's obvious what you thought about her. I wonder what our panel thought. Nina?
You said 5 minutes was not long enough to display her. I'm afraid it was overlong for me. She's one of those sort of ladies of uncertain age and uncertain as to where to put her talent, because she does have a talent. She has a personality which she feels obliged to express, and she expresses it quite well in certain areas. I thought at the end when her shoe came off, which I know was not meant to happen, was not rehearsed, that for me was the funniest thing, because she coped with that very well and was very funny. But the rest of it was, I'm sorry, it was like seeing your Auntie Ethel, you know, drunk at a wedding, thinking, oh God, she's at the gin again. You know, please, somebody rope her down and put her under a shower. You know, take her away quietly and lock her up somewhere. She's a complete puzzle, but I mean, I'm sorry, you know, as far as I'm concerned, that's it. No more.
You didn't like her? Chris?
Well, I was a bit disappointed when she came on. I thought she was going to be a stripper. I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine, really. I think the bottom line, I've no idea why she's on this programme, basically. I mean, she came out, she did the business. You know, she's obviously done that sort of thing for years and years and years, but I'm not quite sure why she's here. I can't imagine what sort of booking she'd get on the strength of this.
Well, she's served a long apprenticeship, and she's just as entitled to a go as a 19-year-old or an 18-year-old.
But I think it's unlikely to be the sort of act that people who watch these sort of programmes for, you know, future pop stars and comedians and so on, really the sort of people who are out there looking. I'm not sure. I mean, good luck if it is.
Thank you, Chris. Mickey?
Well, I thought she was a complete nutcase, but great. I really did. And sometimes it's nice to have people who are a little bit off the wall, because this was really off the wall, wasn't it? And I'm going to take her phone number, because every time I have a party, she's the first person I'm going to call. She's great fun.
And so to the last act of the last show of the series of New Faces before our grand final next week. A series in which we've had some excellent songwriters. Excellent. And this lad ranks amongst the best. He's got a superb voice quality. He looks terrific. In fact, I can't see how he's going to fail. So record producers, this is talent. It's Max Bacon. With his own composition, The Hunter. Well, will Max Bacon have a sizzling career from now on? Let's see what our panel has to say. Mickey?
Well, I thought Max worked very hard on a very ordinary song. He had a very, very interesting voice. It was pitched in the right place, but musically, the arrangement of the song and everything doesn't put him anywhere. I don't quite figure out where he belongs. Is he in rock or is he in pop? I couldn't quite figure out where he should be going. But he has a recording voice. That's the biggest asset, but he certainly needs a very, very good song and a very good producer and all the other things. But once he has them, he could actually go on.
Well, he's been writing for 10 years. I'm sure he can provide some more stuff.
Well, let's hope so.
Thank you. Chris?
I think he was, for me, he was definitely the best act tonight. I think, certainly I think he's the most likely to go on from here and become a big star. I don't know, I mean, all those things about producers and arrangements, I mean, it's the same with anybody. The guy has far more things going for him than an awful lot of people who are very, very successful. He could do very well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Chris. Nina?
It's very hard to judge because he had this incredibly powerful voice, which if you shut your eyes, conjured up a certain image. And when you opened them, he didn't look like you imagined him to look. The voice, the looks, and the song just didn't marry somehow at all. They were all three totally separate entities which didn't sort of gel. So he was rather confusing. He worked very, very hard and he gave it all he could, but there was just something missing for me. I mean, I just don't know what it was. Maybe the chaps prefer that sort of thing, but for a woman there's got to be something you fancy. There's got to be something sexual going on there, and I didn't feel there was that.
Well, I thought it was terrific, I really did. Thank you, panel. Well, it's make your mind up time, ladies and gentlemen. The last time before our grand final next week. So, straight away, let me introduce our master scoreboard, Spaghetti. Thank you. As you can see, the names of the 6 acts that have been on the show this evening are on the board behind me. Each name is linked via its own colour light bulb trail to the superstar at the top of the board. Only one act can light that star tonight. That's up to you. As I reintroduce the acts, just let me remind you, a phone number will appear at the bottom of the screen. Make a note of the number of the act you would like to vote for, or send in the coupon in TV Times and have it with us no later than Thursday because of our final on Saturday. Your votes are most important. They'll be added to those of our theatre audience here, who each have a computerised button attached to their armrest. But don't press them yet, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me reintroduce the acts that we've had on this evening, starting with Centrefold. Come on, guys, come and take a bow. Centrefold, ladies and gentlemen, from the northeast. We have a great following up there. Centrefold. With their own song this evening, Centrefold. Your top act of tomorrow? If so, then press your buttons now for Centrefold, ladies and gentlemen. Centrefold on the red, going round the board. Round and round the board it goes, where it ends up no one knows. Look at it go. Halfway up the board, nice start. Next, Al Conway from Yorkshire. Al Conway, come on, I'll take a bow. Funny man, Al Conway from Yorkshire. It is well. Al Conway there. Yes, do you think he's got what it takes to get there? If so, then press your buttons now for Al Conway. Al Conway on the pink. Going round the board, press those buttons for Al Conway. Round he goes, and up, 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 up. Up. Still in the lead of Centrefold. Next, Jane Cassidy from Belfast. Jane Cassidy, come on, Jane, take a bow. Jane Cassidy from Belfast. Singer-songwriter from Belfast, Jane Cassidy. Well, is she a face you'd like to see in the final? If so, press your now, but press them for Jane Cassidy going round on the blue, round and round the board it goes. Look at it, whizzing round us, man, it's going up and it's going up. Still Centrefold. Next, Clegg and Christie, ladies and gentlemen. Clegg and Christie, a comedy duo, Clegg and Christie. Clegg and Christie. Clegg and Christie, there is the sky the limit for Clegg and Christie. If you think so, press your buttons now for Clegg and Christie. Clegg and Christie on the green, going round the board. Make a note of those numbers at home. It's all up to you. Look at them go. Woo! Ooh, nice one, lads. Next, Isabel Duncan, a zany lady. Isabel Duncan. Come on, Isabel, take a bow. Isabel Duncan. Isabel Duncan. Well, is Isabel your top choice? If so, then press your buttons now for Isabel Duncan. Isabel Duncan on the yellow. Press for Isabel. Which one's going to be in the final next week? Oh, it's Clegg and Christie still. Next, Max Bacon, ladies and gentlemen. Singer-songwriter Max Bacon. Come on, Max. Max Bacon there with a knockout song. Is he going to be singing his way to stardom? If you think so, then press your buttons now for Max Bacon. Max Bacon on the white. Going out for the last time on the white. Press, press, press. Make a note of those numbers, and he's going up, and he's going up, and he's going up. And the winners in the theatre, Clegg and Christie. Oh, Clegg and Christie there. Well, will there be the act to finish up in the final? It looked a pretty close thing to... Do you agree? Why not pick up the phone and let us know, ladies and gentlemen? For 10 pence, you could help to create a star. Put them in our grand final next week at 10 to 8 on Saturday next week. Well, it only remains for me to thank Mr. Harry Rabinowitz and the gentlemen of the orchestra, and, of course, our noble and wise...